again after about 9 ago who had experience. I got information, distressing information, very late yesterday, and I said this morning I will come and see for myself.
Earlier, while addressing scores of his supporters who had gathered in front of the government house in Port Harcourt, Governor Fubara demanded reasons for the impeachment proceedings against him. The governor also accused security agencies of compromise, saying they fired shots when he earlier tried to get into the River State House of Assembly.
Whatever it is that wants to happen, let it happen. If Siminalayi Fubara is impeached, I am not the first, neither will I be the last. I'm saying if it happens. But what is important is any attempt that is not justified will be resisted. Let them come out and tell Rivers people that offense that I've committed. That is what I want. Come out and tell the people of Rivers State that offense that Fubara committed that is warranting impeachment.
One of the protesters spoke to our correspondent.
It's not a news in Rivers State that the former governor of Rivers State has totally monopolized Rivers State. He has turned Rivers State to his private enterprise. The appointments were made by the former governor. Everything is being handled by the former governor, and this fight has been cold all this while. But if the Rivers people are watching, and as it stands now, we have a speculation, a rumor that they want to impeach the governor. And one of the assembly leaders who have refused to that, they had a plan of impeaching him today, so that they can bring in someone who can do their bid. And Rivers youths are out to say no. Enough is enough. We can't continue pretending.
In the meantime, a video has surfaced online of the moment police used water cannons and fired tear gas as Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara led scores of people towards the State House of Assembly this morning. Our correspondent reports that at least 17 police vans are stationed at the entrance of the Assembly complex. The roads leading to the State House of Assembly complex have been blocked. Earlier, the River State House of Assembly held plenary at the auditorium of the burned Assembly complex and started the impeachment proceedings against Governor Fubara. The impeachment notice was read by member representing Omoma State constituency, Sylvanus Nwankwo.
In the performance of the functions of the office of the governor by His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara, Governor of Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, he said notice of impeachment was signed by 24 members of this Hallowed Chamber. They are 1. Honorable Major Jack. 2. Honorable Adokie Toye Smart. 3. Honorable Nieche Prince.
The Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, Martin Samehuli, later asked the clerk of the House to forward the notice to Governor Fubara.
Distinguished colleagues, in line with Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, when a notice of impeachment is delivered to Mr. Speaker, that notice will have to be forwarded to the governor as it was presented for his reply. On that note, clerk, do forward this notice of impeachment to the governor and ensure that he gets it and we allow the Constitution to take its course.
The Speaker of the River State House of Assembly accused the government house and the House leader Edison Ehi of involvement in the attack on the Assembly complex last night.
Discovered that it was burnt down, and information reaching us is that this was supervised from Government House of Rivers State and Edison Ehi, majority leader of the Rivers State House of Assembly, and his cohorts at a time when other states are making progress, trying to make life better for people of their states. Sadly, here we see a situation where the legislature is being attacked and not allowed to perform. We cannot really understand why our own chambers will be burnt down because somebody does not want this arm of government to survive or to function.
Our correspondent reports that during the House proceeding this morning, House Leader Edison Ehi was removed and some other lawmakers were suspended.
These individuals and their actions will not be condoned by any responsible legislature. These individuals have shown that they don't deserve to be part of the business of this assembly. By the motion that has been moved and seconded, those in favor, 23, against, nil, abstention, nil. By that result, Right Honorable Edison Ehi, Honorable Oko Jumbo, Honorable Goodboy Sukare, and Honorable Adolphus Urubeme are hereby suspended in line with our standing orders indefinitely.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Chijioke Ihuo, says Rivers Youth will support Governor Fubara because he represents the younger generation. Speaking to newsmen, Mr. Ihuo said the governor cannot be impeached as the youth will resist such move.
We're not going to allow miscreants, hoodlums, those who want to cut away our resources to come and invade our governor and Rivers people. His Excellency cannot be impeached. Those who are undergoing that process, the members are enemy of Rivers people, and the youth of Rivers State will resist them. I will make sure that I will give our support to the governor. So whatever they are doing is not going to work. We are in support of the governor. We voted for Sir Sim Joseph Fubara as the governor. I said we didn't vote for somebody who is somewhere and want to run our state. The youth have asked me to tell Rivers people that the youth, especially, that we are going to support the new policies of His Excellency the governor, and we are going to follow him to the end.
Still on this, the spokesman of the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar's campaign in Rivers State, Lelonu Wibubasa, is urging Rivers people to come together to safeguard the state from the control of one individual. Dr. Wibubasa, in an interview with correspondent Emeko Otoka, said the recent events in the state is an affront to the collective conscience of Rivers people. He said the current state of affairs in the state has been a matter of concern to some of them since the last general election.
I completely espouse on the attitude and character of Governor Wike, who already was acting as an emperor. But a lot of people, even in the camp that is being affected today, they saw it as an affront on his person and on his opinion as the leader of the state as at that time. People must begin to realize the fact that we must all come together, because at this point, it is not about fame. It is about the soul of Rivers State. And so every person needs to come back, rally around the governor, and ensure that the soul of Rivers State is delivered from one man.
On his part, a former governor of Rivers State, Rufus Adder George, has sued for peace and is asking all parties involved to seek a quick resolution of the crisis. The elder statesman, in a statement, said if the crisis is not checked, it has the capacity to bring violence. He also urged the police and other security agencies to deploy men and officers to the flashpoints to maintain the peace. He said Rivers State should not be an epicenter of political crisis. In another development, the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar says the electoral process in Nigeria has failed. Mr. Abubakar, who said this at a media conference at the National Secretariat of the PDP in Abuja, said despite the irregularities recorded in the presidential election, the Supreme Court still declared President Bola Tinubu as winner of the election.
We showed incontrovertible evidence that Bola Tinubu was not qualified to contest the presidential election because he forged the qualifying academic certificate which he submitted to INEC. In fact, a simple check on Tinubu's past records in his possession would have shown INEC that Tinubu broke the law and should not have been allowed to contest the election in the first place. We showed irrefutable evidence of gross irregularities, violence, and manipulations during the election. We showed incontrovertible evidence.
Mr. Abubakar also said the verdict of the Supreme Court legalized forgery and illegality. He insists President Tinubu was not qualified to contest the February 2023 presidential election. Still to come, federal government to tackle decline in school enrollment. Stay with us. You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. The Minister of Education, Tahir Mamman, says the federal government will phase out the issue of out-of-school children in the country. Mr. Mamman said this at an event in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. He said there is a need for collaboration among the local government, state, and the federal government to get it right. Workers at the River State House of Assembly have been directed to begin strike today. The workers under the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASTEN, were directed to join the nationwide strike by the union after the expiration of the ultimatum given to government over the non-implementation of the Financial Autonomy Act by the state governors. The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has threatened to boycott its meeting with the federal government today if the Minister of Labour, Simon Lalong, attends. The president of NLC, Joe Ajero, issued the threat while fielding questions from journalists in Abuja on Sunday after briefing them on the plight of workers in Imo State. He criticized the Minister of Labour for not being able to establish a cordial relationship with organized labor. In business, Nigerians seeking admissions to foreign universities spent over $340 million to fund their application between January and June 2023. This figure is according to the Central Bank of Nigeria's data on the amount spent on educational services under the sectoral utilization for transactions valid for foreign exchange. It said in April over $40 million was spent on foreign education, while noting that $48 million was spent in May. However, in June, there was a significant decrease as over $32 million was spent. In entertainment, co-stars of the late Matthew Perry say they are heartbroken at the tragic loss of their fellow actor. The U.S. actor, famous for his role as Chandler Bing in the 90s hit show Friends, was discovered dead at his Los Angeles home on Saturday. In sports, Lyon have warned that an even more serious tragedy could occur if action is not taken after manager Fabio Grosso was seriously injured in an attack on the team bus in Marseille. The Ligue 1 match was postponed after the Lyon bus was hit by rocks on its way to Stade Velodrome on Sunday.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris says the U.S. has no intention or plans to send combat troops to Israel or Gaza. She said this during an interview on a program called 60 Minutes on CBS. Ms. Harris said the U.S. is providing Israel with advice, equipment, and diplomatic support. She also stressed the importance of adhering to the rules of war and ensuring the smooth flow of humanitarian aid.
A terrorist organization, Hamas, slaughtered hundreds of young people at a concert. By most estimates, at least 1,400 Israelis are dead. Israel, without any question, has a right to defend itself. It is very important that there be no conflation between Hamas and the Palestinians. The Palestinians deserve equal measures of safety and security, self-determination and dignity. And we have been very clear that the rules of war must be adhered to and that there be humanitarian aid that flows.
Ms. Harris also warned Iran not to get involved in the Israel-Hamas conflict.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the headlines. Governor Fubara has vowed to resist impeachment proceedings against him and has accused the police of shooting at him. Lawmakers have served a notice of impeachment on Governor Fubara. Workers at the River State House of Assembly have been directed to join the nationwide strike. The PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar says the electoral process in Nigeria has failed. NLC has threatened to boycott today's meeting with the federal government. And on the foreign scene, the U.S. say there is no plan to send troops to Israel or Gaza. The news was edited by Martha Okere Nkem. You can see pictures and watch videos of news stories when you like us on Facebook and follow us on X at now. For any eyewitness report, and 808-721-7215. Peace is a path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Ifechukwu Moyeli. Many thanks for listening.